Okay. Hey, welcome back to GamePlayDismay. This is when Gaddick is coming at you. We are doing Angel's Egg by the same guy that does Ghost in the Shell and everything else. I forget his name. But Javier's going to help me on that. But yeah, we're going to be doing a little quick review on this with my counterparts, Mark and Jimmy. Javier, you guys there?
Hello.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good to be here.
So yeah, nice. So so what? Yeah, what's going on with this movie? I was like, for just like a quick overview, like, what do you guys think of it, and what is your personal take on what is happening?
I don't know
Uh,
what's happening.
yeah, I don't know what's going on either.
They're wandering around, it's about survival, and suddenly he's like, but Noah's Ark, and then it ends.
Yeah, but they did show Noah's Ark back before, or it might have been like after.
That was the best part, was the slow pan away at the end.
Yeah. So wait, are they on a giant ark floating around in space, or is it just the bad thing the version that I was watching?
Well, he was saying that they sent out the dove twice, and I think, I'm not very up to date on the Bible, but I think he sent out a dove 3 times? So he didn't send it out a
Spoilers for
third
a
time in the
5,000-year-old
movie.
book.
Bible spoilers coming up.
So
Yeah.
they're on the boat, and then the boat capsized, and then they forgot they lived on the boat? And the boat's so big they had a whole island and city and forest up there.
Yeah.
So they weren't in space; they were on just a island.
And the
Yeah,
sea,
I think it was just the dark ocean.
which I mean, a lot of times space is used as a metaphor for the ocean, or you know what I mean?
Well, I couldn't tell if it was the version that I was watching because it's just like a crappy YouTube copy,
Yeah.
or if it
Yeah,
was
you can
like
find it
that's
cheaper.
what it was supposed to be. Like, are they just floating around, or is this an island, like in the dark? Yeah, the dark ocean.
I think they're a
Yes.
capsized boat in the ocean.
Okay, that
It
makes
did
more
make me
sense.
think of like Earth, like, oh, they forgot they're on a boat, and I'm like,
But
Earth, it's like, did we forget we're ancient astronauts or something?
yeah,
That's like the
yeah,
thing.
that's what I
No.
thought was going on because I was like, oh, they're in space. I was like, that makes more sense. And these like crazy like alien eggs and all this stuff, not so much angel eggs as alien eggs. I think that are
Yeah,
coming
that could
from
be too.
that giant eyeball or whatever that's sucking up everybody, uh, taking their souls. It is a lot like Demon Souls and Bloodborne even. It might give me Bloodborne vibes. But
Yeah, I was
It
but
really
surprised a
did
couple
remind me of
times.
Dark Souls.
yeah, but those no the areas. Sorry, in the beginning, where she came out of. Oopsie, little help.
I forgot how to play this game.
Yeah, me too.
Bring me
Uh,
back.
but
I
the
tried to, but I
very
got
first part she
dead
comes
easy.
out of looks like a planetarium or something like that. Like in the very the
Yeah,
part
yeah,
that
it
he
did. It was
comes.
like all broken,
Yeah,
and it
and
has
he
the orbits or whatever.
yeah, and he was on top of one like on like a top of like a hill or something on top, like I would say
What do you call it?
observatory.
An orrery? Orrery of, I don't know how to say that word.
Yeah, yeah,
I only read it.
the coordinates.
An
But
orrery. Yeah.
Ori? Just Ori.
Or orrery, I guess.
or yeah, I don't know. But that thing, and then the observatory looked like where I thought he was, and it was like they're like on this thing, and then that giant eyeball is sucking up everybody's souls, and they're like, yeah, capsized, stuck there, and then there's like I think it's just all reference to the Bible. They're using it as like yeah, some crazy reference, and he's got like that cross sword or something, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah, it's either a
He did a
cross or
sword and
sword.
he didn't do anything with it.
yeah, and
Whenever I
he's all
see
like
somebody,
he's like I was on top of the tower, and he's like where I killed that other a giant chicken. I tell you, he's a chicken. There's giant angel chickens
giant
or
chicken.
something. Yeah, or some shit like that that he's taken
Are
out,
they tiny?
and
All
then
the animals were huge.
the girl is trying to like summon them back to life or whatever, which she sacrifices herself unknowingly to plant a thousand more or something weird. Uh,
Yeah, it's quite the confused mess. I feel like I need to watch it again to get a better handle on it.
yeah, I went back and like watched a couple handful of scenes, like especially the ones with dialogue. So I was like, what the hell? And then like try to
Yeah,
get
we were talking about it.
an order of like the events that are happening. I thought it was gonna be like some kind of time loop or something like that, but it seems like it is just like things are happening, and that giant eyeball is like stealing people's souls and taking over, and then that girl turned to stone and was added to the pile. It was much like that other movie with the turtle, where that giant eyeball is, I guess, the turtle, and then like, and then they
What,
are
Beautiful Dreamer?
yeah, beautiful dreamer, and then they're floating around in the. They zoom
Well,
in
I
on
thought
the
the eyeball hatched.
Yeah.
That was my impression.
No,
The
in the
alpha hatched from the eggs.
yeah. Oh, whoa. I didn't think about that.
That's my impression. I might be wrong though. And like I said, I probably have to watch it. I want to find a better copy than the one that was uploaded to public video
Yeah, the
service or
YouTube
whatever.
one kept spacing out whenever her hair was going all crazy. It wasn't the best quality.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
so
all
it's hard to make
pixelated.
out,
That's not
which is
bad
a
for
shame
free.
The
because
darks
it
were
was
like kind of like I don't know what is that supposed to be? What? I don't know.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if it was raining or just a really grainy film.
Yeah,
it was supposed to be rated based on the sound. Type of thing.
a lot of the time it's supposed to be raining. Yeah, especially in that main city part that they were in.
Oh, and that's how you know it's space. It's not space. It's just an island because like the only animals there's a fish. The fish motifs like everywhere. It
Yeah,
was like the only animal they knew was fish.
and
They're
then
just on a boat.
they did mention that they were about the chicken dreaming or whatever. And in the beginning of the movie, I went back and watched it, and they zoom in on the giant bird angel in the egg, and it zooms into the thing's eyeball. And I was like, "Is this whole thing a chicken egg dream?"
Someone's dream? It's quite possible.
Yeah, because it seems like the same thing's going on with the eyeball taking the stones and adding people to the stones. Like that world is and like the fishermen are all kind of like in some non-existent like cycle
Oh,
or
so it
whatever.
could be the bird's eye. Oh,
Yeah, yeah, like the eyeball's the turtle, and that's why they're all stuck. And I guess the girl is like awakening them, and that's why he's can remember or some weird shit, but he's doing the wrong thing. I don't know. It was too much to take in, even though there's like not a lot going on. I'm like, what the hell?
yeah. Ooh, it does remind me of Dark Souls.
Yeah, and that's totally yeah. And I was like, I could totally see this why he would be a would be influenced or whatever because it was totally the vibes, especially at the Fisherman City with Bloodborne. I was like, yeah, I was like, this just like sick cycle of like fisherman people.
Yeah, were those fishermen there, or were they ghosts?
Well, that was the point I want to. Well, I guess what I want to discuss a little bit is that, in a certain way, it was more lyrical than narrative. You know what I mean? And a lot of it
Yes.
was about just making up these beautiful images,
Yeah,
and
and
then
it
sort of incidentally also telling a story.
yeah. Also, in it does leave it up a lot into interpretation. Like you like can make whatever narrative you put behind it, and it would make sense kind of because there's like so many
I mean,
weird
yeah,
things going on.
you can build narratives off it, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of it is open to the viewer's interpretation.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
all I
that's
can say for certain is there was a girl and an egg and a guy and a cross in a city and the shadows of fish.
yeah.
So that's
See
what
how
really
hard he
got me.
broke the egg?
Yeah.
Well,
It's
it
He
did
cracked
because
the ground, and
it's like
she
a
slept through that.
it was like a crystal.
well, it was a really emotional moment for him, I think.
It's one of
Notice
those.
how he hesitated, but then when he actually had to do it, he was all in on it because it was such an intense. You know what I mean? It was an
Yeah,
intense
but
action because he
she's
had,
looking at it after all the pieces, and it's just like a crater.
Yeah.
He really hit the shit out of that thing.
It was like one of those mineralized rocks that have the
yeah.
oh, there's my health. Oh shit! I didn't mean to hit the barrel. Sorry.
Well, you did.
I know.
I hit the barrel.
Oh
we were all
good.
half dead.
Oh good.
Yeah.
But yeah, one of those mineralized crystallized rocks, where you have to break it and it's all crystal inside.
What, petrification?
Yeah. And it looked empty. But I couldn't
there's
really.
nothing in
It didn't really show. It could have been like
Stolen something.
she covered it up, so it could have been all gutsy on the ground. They didn't show it.
That was his breakfast. He woke up.
Yeah, he ate the shit out of the egg. Oh crap!
Yeah, he just wanted an omelet. That was
It's the
story.
first. This is the first thing he said too. It's like sometimes you gotta break an egg. It's like I would not hang around this guy. First thing he says he was break egg.
Wait,
Well, he does
egg?
ask her.
Take that egg.
Yeah.
And I think it was neat. They really established with like minimal dialogue how well they sort of they do manage to get this like bond of trust going as they travel with each other briefly, and then he betrays it in a very violent fashion.
Yeah.
Well,
Like
when
right
she
at
met,
the
there was like what tanks going down the street.
yeah, with those crazy yeah, it was weird. And were those all the bone? Yeah, those are all the bones. I guess of the flood or whatever. Because I was wondering where they were with all the giant skeletons and stuff.
Yeah. She has this particular like fixation with fresh water. She's always drinking water.
She collects
Yeah,
all the unbroken jugs, which apparently are plastic. She dropped them.
she herself is the egg, and then she got planted in the water, and then she's the thing on the wall that he's talking about.
She likes containers.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's rows and rows of them talk about, and he asks her how long have they. Why is there someone claiming this table?
And if it isn't the first part, first time it's happened, then
Well, they kind
someone like her is doing the same thing over and over again.
Well, yeah, they kind of imply it could be like a cyclical thing,
Yeah. And
or just an
he,
ongoing thing.
yeah, and he's like, I don't know who I am, what I'm doing. I listen to the eyeball. It tells me to go. Or at least that's what I got out of it. He's like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, but this is the only thing I have in my brain. And then he's like, break egg, kill bird, kill the angels that would be saving this
A lot less than explaining.
saving this nightmare.
Oh damn, you got me.
Where, Mark? Where?
Oof.
I was running to go revive the other guy. Oh, he disconnected. No. I was
Yeah.
gonna go get him, but then I died.
How do we?
No, I too am dead.
But where?
I am at the.
Oh, your name's okay.
One of the
Buy us
dojo?
back.
I get it.
Game.
I see you.
I'm gonna shoot you.
I got you.
Oh. Well, if you look up the Wikipedia, like I did,
Oh no.
Yoshi's like, I don't know what this movie's about.
Who?
The director is
Oh.
Oshii, right?
He's like, I don't
That's
know.
it.
He's like, I followed the storyboards, all right.
It's like I said, it's lyrical, not more. It's more lyrical than narrative. It's meant to.
Yeah, it is totally. You're following along the animation and the characters, and then like there is like a handful. There's probably like a page of dialogue in the whole thing or something.
Yeah, there's some story, but there's not.
Well, I think the story is just, it was Noah's Ark if they never found land again. Because he just pulled it out of nowhere. He's like, let me tell you about Noah.
Yeah.
It's not like they found it hidden in some bottom room on a wall, and they're like, oh, interesting, our history. It's like, for no reason, he's like, here's Noah, and then he never mentions it again.
And that angel.
I like
Chicken,
it.
I tell
the last
you.
scene made it all worth it for me.
Yeah.
It was like
It
Earth
helped
all
a lot.
along, except it's the opposite of Earth.
You
Oh.
damn dirty chickens.
All the animals were
Damn
so
you
big,
all
you
to
can't see anything.
hell.
Like, are they tiny? Because, like, the boat's huge, and the fish are huge.
They're
the
angel
bird is
sized.
huge.
I don't know what was that angel on the wall? What was that?
That was the bird that never came back with the human head.
Yeah.
Okay.
I liked it
Oh.
more than I thought, considering how, like, slow it is. Yeah, a couple of scenes are just staring off into space.
Yeah, it makes you think. I'm like, what? Yeah, especially I'm like trying to figure out what the hell I just watched.
Well, I was trying to take it all in during those
Ah.
moments where she's just, like, sitting in the woods, and I'm like, alright, what are we looking at? The trees? How old are the trees? How long has this been unkempt? Like, how long has this been even ruined?
Oh.
We're giving a lot of emphasis on it. That
The
guy's
what?
room has got a lot of fish models in
Sorry,
there.
say again. The what? The trees? The
Well, it's
what?
like all those moments of silence where they're just looking at the background and seeing.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
All right, what's the focus here? Like, all right, that guy's room.
and
It
it's
has
the
like fish, and it's finely ornated. There's some class system. This is a big house with a gate, and then there's like apartments. So it's like obviously there's some kind of class society here.
yeah,
Like
and
the only animal is fish.
yeah, and it's the black water like ooze like was taking over the like all the water I guess around. Or
Yeah,
that's what it
even in
seemed
the
like.
daytime, it was very dark.
Yeah, like if you're under the water. in the daytime.
And that black water would definitely keep you on that island. Oh no.
Ghosts over
Oh, I'm still alive.
Hey, what?
But
Why? Why
Oh,
they?
maybe we lost all the territory.
Oh.
yeah.
All right. Sorry. Yeah, I'm kind of just like rambling and trying to like think about this movie and kill people at the same time.
Yep. It's kind of difficult to do.
Yeah.
Whatever. We still got a reward.
So yeah. Okay. So we did
Still
story and
ranking it.
characters, I guess. So yeah, let's do the two characters, I guess. What do we think about them? Like, what was going on? Like,
They were wary of each other, as they would be, but then they kind of bonded. Early she did because she realizes she's a lone survivor. And she's like, here's someone else
yeah,
who doesn't appear to be like a psycho, so
yeah. He's
yeah,
just
he's
kind of
big, he'll
following me
protect me.
around.
So it's like, yeah, of
Yeah.
course you're gonna
Seems like he would protect
come
her.
up with
Yeah.
that guy. But otherwise, it's like, who are they and what are they doing? You have no idea. Unexplained.
And yeah, she was in the observatory too. So I was like, that's why she's like, I guess would be one of the people like looking for a way out, like or being part of the thing to get out of there or whatever. Like, and she's laying the egg over by the angel statue or something. And she's like, yeah, I'm gonna give it back to her. I don't know if it was a weird translation or she's like, I'm gonna hatch it and give it back or something or whatever or something like that.
Yeah, give it back to the bird or something.
Yeah. And like awaken, which is I guess would awaken everybody or something like that.
Yeah, it's like, where's everybody? Why are you the only survivor? Which I guess never needs to be explained, but then it's like they're just statues on the big eye robot.
Yeah. So I think it is just Beautiful Dreamer over again. Because it's
I'm like, what's their level of technology? How are they advanced if they haven't?
It
If
doesn't
they're still
matter,
woods, when
because they
use
got
all the space on the island.
they got caught in the dream as soon as they landed or whatever. And then that's the
Well,
shitty,
they never landed.
or they never
On the
landed,
boat.
or they're stuck
On
in
the
a
boat.
chicken dream.
The chicken.
Oh, it's the
The dove.
dream. It's the dream of the angel that left. That's what it is.
The dove that left.
Yeah,
didn't
that's
come
the
back.
dream of the chicken that left. Yeah.
That's one interpretation. Let's see. So we were talking about characters first.
Yes.
So yeah,
It's the
go
only
if you
thing.
want. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. What I did like is the way that they drew out the character. She's
Ghibli hair
pretty much
flow.
just an expected. I'm dead. An expected mother, and she's very I don't know how to put it. Very calm and also very sort of single-mindedly focused on this thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's all she's got. If I
Yeah.
was in The Last Survivor, I'd be like, let me find something to latch onto.
Oh yeah, I was thinking that maybe she was the angel's. Cause also yeah, I noticed when she was running away, and there's like feathers always around her, so and she's always got the egg. So I was like, maybe she was the sister of the angel, and she's taking care of the egg, trying to make it hatch or whatever for their
She is the
sister.
angel.
So she herself is a bird too. That's why she laid all a bunch of eggs when she died.
Not bringing you back.
Damn it. Yeah, I gotta be more wary.
Never did learn to mind your surroundings.
Mm. I saw
Batman Begins.
a video. Yeah, Batman Begins. Yeah, I saw a video where, damn, we're
Yes.
sucking. Where Luke backflips when he's fighting Vader in Return of the Jedi, and he lands on top of the railing or whatever. And Vader's like, Obi-Wan has taught you well, and he's like, and then everybody's like, Luke has the high ground.
Yeah.
He says it right when he has the high ground or whatever.
Yeah.
It's his only weakness. Obi-Wan's like, yeah, just go high. He can handle it.
That and sand. There was no sand to throw at him, so yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But anyway,
so,
yeah.
I mean, both the characters, I thought, well, they're given the limited confines to the story. They were both. I mean, they sort of both had to be very mission oriented, and there were. But it was interesting just to see the dynamic of their interaction, where they're both initially wary of each other, and then he becomes her protector in a way. She shelters behind him when all the fishermen start running out to start stabbing shadows.
I think he just wanted the egg as well. Or he was just after the egg.
I know, but then that makes him even. That's what I'm saying. It makes his betrayal even that much worse because he waits till she's asleep and then kills the thing that was most precious to her, like her goal or her reason for existence.
Well, I thought that was his reason as well.
Exactly. I mean, but just the way that it happened, where it was, you should be wary, but
Befriending
then
her,
also
and yeah,
we're friends, and then
yeah.
no,
I'll
we're
take
not friends
you.
because
Let's go.
I've got to do
Whatever.
my thing while you're trying to do your things. So yeah, it was very just very stripped down drama. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In that sense, but at least there was a drama. You could sort of see these two characters had different goals, and they come in conflict with each other, and then that conflict is resolved through an action. So I mean, the basics for storytelling are all there, which I thought was neat because it'd be really easy just to have them just wander around, just doing nothing just to look good. But they actually did make an effort to at least put some characterization and plot in there, even if we
Yeah.
can't entirely make out what the hell it all means.
There's a
But
lot
there are
going
Had you
on.
subtle
Yeah.
had you heard of it before, Jay?
What's that?
Had you heard of it before we recommended it?
No.
So
That's
you went
good.
in completely blind?
Yeah.
Cool. But did you read
Because
about
I
it
think
after?
I think me and Johnny both found it through like Dark Souls reference.
Yeah, because in Dark
Huh.
Souls 3, there's the spoilers for Dark Souls 3 DLC. Is the well, it's actually a huge plot point for the whole series, but it's supposed to be Gwen's daughter, I think, that he gave to the like ancients of the dark side or some crap like that to like hold over, and then she's holding on to an egg, and then once you break it, like a whole the fabric of like whatever the whole area like changes, and time goes or you like go fast forward in time or some crazy shit, like everything around you changes pretty much. And then it's like that egg was like holding everything together, like I guess how it would
Yeah.
be in the movie.
Well, an egg is like a common symbol of, birth,
Something like that.
life,
I could be very
renewal.
wrong.
That's why you shouldn't break the egg.
Yeah, that's why he's the bad guy, and then that's why it is very much like Dark Souls, because it goes back to like, should you or shouldn't you link the fire, and he's very much the lone knightsman going through doing his duty to kill the whatever it is, the demons that he's slain, that he fought on top of the hill.
Yeah, is he an agent of the Big Eye?
That's what I took it as. Yeah.
I don't know. You could take it as that, or it could be in opposition to it because they seem to be facing each other down in the very beginning.
But then he goes on a quest and then meets it back at the end.
Yeah, like I almost forgot it was in the movie. It was like the opening and the ending.
I thought it was like I was like, "Bwong, time to go." Bell tolls, and then he awakens, and then go just like fucking Dark Souls, and then he goes, and then does the thing that he thinks is supposed to be good because he doesn't know he's like a half hollow person, half hollow soldier or whatnot, and then little does he know the thing that he's thinks that he's supposed to be doing is really just the bidding of the bad guy keeping you in your nightmare or whatever it is.
Yeah. I'm on fire.
But yeah, it's really cool. I didn't. Yeah, I've been meaning to watch this because of the references to Dark Souls 3. That I was like, oh, cool. I was like, yeah, and I didn't even realize it was the Amano uh, artist, like guys like movie. I was like, what?
And we keep losing players. I think we're under leveled.
They don't like when they die. Look, there's like one guy over here too. They just waited a second. I would have brought him
That's
back.
Yeah.
that's yeah, canon. Someone else. But yeah, I'm kind of glad we watched Beautiful Dreamer. Otherwise, I never would have thought of like the connection of like that being the the Dream Master world thing, and that's why it sucked another soul back, is made it to stone, and that's why he's the one that's still left there, trying to figure out what the hell's going on. And another stone. Every time a stone gets sucked away, the facade of whatever's going on gets taken away deeper and deeper or whatever. He'll figure it out.
Yeah. compare to Japan.
So yeah, I guess next up, animation style. What did y'all think of the anim like the style
Like
of
I
it?
said, I'm a big fan of the '80s animation style.
Yeah, me too. I love
Um,
it.
Like I
My
said, it's
favorite
got a
kind
little
of.
more. It seems to have a little more details and stuff now. It's not quite as
It's just like
I don't know
grittier.
stylized. Yeah, I think a lot of the newer stuff suffers from being just a bit um,
Like,
overly stylized for lots of reasons, economic and
there's not enough free lines around. Everything's like a coloring book.
part of it's just needing to tell a story with um,
I've only seen Amano's art as like images for Final Fantasy, so to see it in motion as a movie was kind of like a
Yeah,
better.
yeah. It was really. I liked it a lot. I wish they would do more. That's what I always wished. Final Fantasy would do. Like I want to see like that art turned into the game. Like I want to see that turned into the game, like in motion or something, like Persona or like all those other games that they can, or like Odin Sphere, Dragon's Crown, whatever, all that kind of stuff. Like make it come to life somehow. The technology's getting there, man. It's gonna happen soon, and I'm sure it's gonna happen. But yeah,
losing the outpost.
I'm running. Nice.
Oh man,
Damn
already
it.
bad sign.
Hey! Oh man, there's a lot of them.
Wait, now they're back at the mine? Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, I'm down. But yeah, I love the animation style. Totally just crazy and just wild imagery, especially with like the long pans of them just staring off or sitting there or whatever. Like I was saying earlier, like I was dozing off, like they were dreaming, they're just, staring away. I started staring away too. I'm getting lost with them, and I'm like, oh shit, music's taking me away. And then with like all the weird vines like going through the water. And I thought there was some kind of weird like technology thing going on because it's like the floating eye orb, and then the tree that
Hey,
looked like circuits to to a circuit board or something.
there's just one archer left.
Where
Should I,
is he?
should I revive y'all?
Right in front of you.
It's too early to revive y'all.
There we go. Oof.
Come get me.
We hit a drum wall over there.
Give me a barrel.
Yeah, let's get this barrel. Come over. Come over.
Alright, to the mine.
But yeah, any more thoughts on animation style or?
Is that the 80s animation you like, Jay?
Yeah, I mean, part of it.
Because it's unique to me. I've never seen Amano style in anything else. Like a movie.
Well, I mean, generally speaking, it's
Yeah,
those 80s anime-ish. It's not like, I mean, if you look at Macross, it's also late 70s, early 80s. I mean, it's
Yeah.
slightly simpler, but it also has a bit of
didn't we watch
that flavor.
Vampire Hunter? Didn't we watch that?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, Vampire Hunter D is another thing.
Yeah, the first one
It's a
definitely.
it's a bit like that.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of. I think he might even be the freaking artist that's not behind it. I don't even know.
I don't think so. Ooh, I am dead. But yeah, it just has a little bit. Maybe I don't know. It's hard to define slightly because I'm not a trained artist or anything. But it's just sort of got a certain
More free
extra layer
lines.
a little bit more complexity in the character design, it seems, and a little bit more. I don't know. The faces seem to be a little more expressive. I don't know. It's hard to quantify really, and maybe it's probably all just a subjective thing, but. I just like the way it looks, and I like the way they can draw the characters, and you can still get some pretty wicked action scenes out of it. You know what I mean? Even if they do
Yeah.
spend a lot of time just staring off into space.
Yeah. And there wasn't a lot of action or anything,
Damn archers.
but I was still interested or like
Yeah.
captivated
what
with what was going on. And
This
thanks
is one I
in
wouldn't.
part of the art, because of the animation.
This is one I wouldn't mind seeing remastered in HD and dropped on Blu-ray, because I'm sure if they got a hold of the original scans, they could rescan the film at 4K or 2K or whatever, and then maybe clean up the color a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm sure
I
it looked
feel a
really
lot
nice.
was lost watching it on YouTube.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
too. The first thing I thought of after
personal
I
backup.
finished it, I was like, I need to find a better copy because I was like, that it probably make more sense. I would see more of what's going on, and the only thing to tell what's going on is to see what the hell's going on.
Yeah, I mean that's a big part of it. So I do really want to. Oh, I'm gradually creeping up. Now I'm at 33. I was at 30 when I started. Um, but yeah, no, what struck me about the whole thing is I'm going to go off on a little 5 minute mini rant here.
Do
Is
it.
that what struck me about the lyrical or artsy feeling of it was that it seemed to be encompassing a few things. I mean, one, the dreamlike quality, but also there's this weird theme of
Yeah.
uh, simplicity versus complexity, or maybe some rural life versus urban life, which is like a running theme in Japan, or maybe more accurately, it would say the collision of the traditions of the past with the necessity for forging ahead in the future. Yeah, maybe not saying it as clearly as I can, but
Now's your chance.
that's my chance. Yeah. Um, well, it seems to me like the reason I like a lot of this like 80s anime is because it seems to be is like it's where like the Japanese are finally like really coming to grips with that tension of being an ancient and storied culture that also has to fully embrace modernity. And it's like you see like the combination of that like in this movie because she starts out in more or less a rural area. She wanders in from the countryside, drinking the water right into the city, and it's a really the countryside is more or less at peace, but the city is like a much scarier place. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
tanks and fisherman ghosts and
Yeah.
giant fish.
And
I mean, there's
crazy
just
guys trying to
shadows, but
explore
you
with.
might get caught in the crosshair of those fishermen. I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean that's almost seems to be a very real risk at one point when they come out in force and she's standing behind a window and they're busy throwing harpoons
That's
everywhere.
what I thought was gonna happen. Yeah. Damn.
Um,
They're whirling
and
it.
like
They're breaking windows.
yeah, and so I mean that's one of the aspects of it that I thought, and it really captures that. I think it's just because I guess that 80s was that time when Japan was really becoming an economic powerhouse. I mean they spent the first like 20 years or so after the Second World War rebuilding. I mean, and then it wasn't they really started rising in manufacturing like real industry until the 70s or 80s. I mean, there's even that joke in the Back to the Future where Doc from the 50s is like, Japan, no wonder it broke its crap. Marty's like, oh no, all the best crap
Oh.
comes from Japan.
Yeah.
And there's a difference between post-war rebuilding and then actually becoming a manufacturing powerhouse and like
Yeah.
powering ahead, not just following the modern world, but actually setting trends in it or navigating your way through.
They
And I
definitely
think that's
do.
part of why I like a lot of the 80s anime. It gets a lot, it captures a lot of that feeling, and that's why I think also maybe a lot of it so much is sci-fi because it allows you to explore those themes in a more more open setting, I guess, or with slightly less limitations. Um, Things like that. That's why I think there's so much cool like sci-fi and fantasy anime coming out of the 80s, like 70s. You get stuff like Macross and Gundam,
Yeah.
just running around in mobile suits.
It is
And
my
then you get stuff
favorite.
like this where it's,
Sorry,
where
it
it's
is
just
my
like
favorite time as well for the animation style. Like, just that the gritty, like Ninja Scroll, pretty much. There's just that gritty style of just like ultra violence or whatever, and it's just like, yeah, I don't know. I love those old school movies like that.
yeah. And like I said, it gives
Akira.
you a chance to really. You could say it's sort of the country finding its own voice and culture. I mean, because Japan, even today, is still like a contrast to that. I mean, they're ultra modern, but they also use fax machines still. I mean, this is.
Do
You
they?
saying
I
they're
mean,
they're a land of contrast?
yes.
What was that? Libya or something?
Yeah, and it is a
In the 50s?
theme running through a lot of like whenever they bring in Asian culture and like themes to other like modern movies or whatever, like the Yakuza and all that stuff. It always is the younger hothead taking out the older old school type that's always just like, I'm tired of your old ways, old man, time for my new, you know
Yeah.
hot ways or whatever the new hotness. And that is like a run. It is just, I noticed that a lot in just everywhere, movies, show, whatever. It's always just like you got to everybody's hire the old ways and take it out, like the old
Old witches, yeah.
old mafia type stuff, and it's like old
And
traditions
that's
and all
what
that
I'm
crap.
saying. Like, by like the late '70s, early '80s, they'd finally started to really integrate those two traditions, and that's what I think made some interesting art. Um, but that's one thing. The other thing I will wax lyrical about how lyrical the art style is. I mean, I love the rural scenes. Oh, that's another thing I want to talk about. It's just like, whoop, there it? No. An interesting aspect of Japanese culture is like the contrast between the urban and rural existence because um, Japan is 25% of the population is in the Tokyo metropolitan area. So imagine if you lumped New York, LA, and Chicago all together. And that was the one city.
Cool.
And it's the single biggest city in Japan, and like I said, 25% of the population.
That's why
What is this green dot here?
you can rent those little pods that you slide into, like Fifth Element.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
All right.
Well, they're everywhere.
Losing the
The
boat
beach and the yeah.
And he really kind of captures, I think, that feeling where she moves from a relatively calm and sort of peaceful rural existence into a very frightening and stressful urban one. But she manages to handle it. I mean, still pretty well. Just, I mean, character demands it. Oops, we lost an area.
Shit.
Let's see if he quits.
Yeah. And so I like that. And then one of the things I thought, what struck me really about that whole sequence was when the fishermen were out harpooning the fish, the imaginary fish. I thought it was like really hauntingly. It was like poignant and touching because it was right there again that contrast between the old and the new, like sort of coming together in a very real sense. Because the fishermen are like traditional fishermen, but they're running around a modern city like hunting in shadows. So it's like that where the past meets the present, and like
they're haunted by the old.
yeah, hunted by the old, but also making the new. It's all right in there. So I thought that was really. And also, like I said, the whole dreamlike quality of the entire thing, I thought was really.
Yeah, that too. I was definitely. I felt it felt like a dream, and especially when they zoomed in on that chicken egg. Whoop! In the beginning, I was like, "Yep, it's a chicken dream." And then yeah, all the spots when they're just like kind of staring off, and everybody's kind of like. She never explains. Like I mean, she does explain why she's or what she's doing, but she doesn't explain why she's doing it. Much like him, he's just kind of like just doing it, but he doesn't. He's like on his little mission or whatever.
Yeah.
I was trying to revive him. I got shot.
Yeah. These shield guys, man. Yeah, I got some problems with them.
Yeah, I definitely gotta
Can't wait
level
to
up.
quit.
I gotta level up some more.
Can't give up.
Where is everybody?
Quit shooting me.
Oh, here he comes. Oh,
There we go.
Every time I'm getting in there, shoot me with an arrow.
but all the ghosts haven't fallen. But that's not true. I saw him there standing.
So the other thing I wanted to point out was, ooh, I got a better sword, I guess.
Better
You guys
bow.
want to hear me rant on for another couple minutes?
Better bow.
Yes.
Yeah, rant.
All right. Ranting on. Or no, just an observation.
Just rant faster.
Along with that tension between the old and the new is also the well, as you know, Japan was a notoriously insular country until the 19th century, when it was forced to modernify thanks to a show of force by by Western navies that sailed up to, hey, look, we can kick your ass anytime we want to. Was it the White Fleet? Was that it? Apologize for my inadequate understanding of history.
Well, don't bring it too
But,
much up.
I But the point being, Japan was insular, forced to modernize. I mean, and you can go watch something like The Last Samurai for one perspective on that.
Oh no.
Again, no.
Sure.
But despite its insular ways, being forced to cope with the Western world has actually influenced Japanese culture in a whole lot of ways that don't really seem apparent, but apparently a big percentage of Japanese words are just loan words from Western languages. They're just Japanized. Is that,
Words?
yeah, like a lot of words that didn't exist in Japanese had to be just kind of made to sound Japanese to be pronounced to be used as they're just loan words. I mean, English is full of them because British and got around everywhere.
Interesting.
Like for example in England, words like veranda or shampoo are borrowed from other places.
We were talking about the animation style.
Yeah, but now I'm just talking about like cultural. I asked you if you said it was fine if we rant on something.
Yeah, yeah. I thought
Keep going.
is it gonna wrap around to the animation style,
Just
or
gonna
did it
wrap around
already?
animation in
No.
general. I think there is, I guess, a point to all this if I can remember what it was.
Yeah.
If I dreamed about it, I think so.
Okay.
Um,
It's on the floating eyeball.
Mega Man.
The
Um,
stain,
Dr. Robotnik.
yeah,
the stained glass
Sonic.
eyeball.
but so there are actually Western culture influences Japanese culture in a lot of ways, and I think let me just put it to you this way, I guess.
Let's give this rant
You've
a wrap
all
up.
and to wrap up. No, I'm just getting started here.
What
I'm
is
just
this
looking for the
area?
best
Have we been here?
place. I don't think we've been here before, have we? Looking for a best place way to approach it, but I don't know. Like for example, someone who's quintessentially Japanese. That's Akira Kurosawa, and you may know him from such movies as Seven Samurai and Throne of Blood and
Ashimo.
Rashomon. Yeah,
Yeah.
is that how I remember? I don't remember that.
Ronin? No.
Important.
But in a more roundabout way, let's start with Yojimbo,
Yeah.
one of his earlier samurai films. Very influential, and he was influenced, but he name drops Dashiell Hammett, and he did later in interviews. And if you've all seen Yojimbo, or if you haven't, it's the story of a lone samurai named Yojimbo who comes up into this town where two gang factions are fighting, and he works them against each other. And then we've heard this story before, right?
A few dollars more.
Yeah.
Every
But
story.
like I said, not every story, but that story. And the Continental Law stories were written by Dashiell Hammett, who wrote The Maltese Falcon.
Which is what?
Humphrey Bogart Detectives, the birth of film noir.
Oh, okay.
But like I say, Kurosawa name drops Dashiell Hammett for like part of the inspiration for writing Yojimbo. Yojimbo gets turned into Fistful of Dollars,
Nice.
which goes on to make Clint Eastwood's career. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a few dollars more.
No, Fistful of Dollars was the first one.
Yeah, but isn't Yojimbo the second one?
No, Sanjuro's the second one. I don't think that got directly adapted into A Few Dollars More. So there was two of them based on the suggestion of Yojimbo, then it was Sanjuro. And then
Okay.
again in a similar vein, the whatchamacallit,
This is wrapping up into the animation.
the Magnificent Seven the Seven Samurai gets made into the Magnificent Seven.
Yeah, that's why the Japanese they love the westerns, man. You can just throw them into whatever. They're interchangeable.
Yeah.
That's why we both love. We both love each other's. That's why.
Yeah.
Especially the time periods and just like everything about it, and the characters that are in there in that world, living in that type of world.
And then so Magnificent Seven is part of the DNA for the A-Team. And well, also apparently the A-Team was supposed to be part Magnificent Seven, part Dirty Dozen. And Fistful of Dollars gets remade again as Last Man Standing with Bruce Willis.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
more credit to.
Well,
Kurosawa.
we're
So-
definitely gonna review that Last Man Standing anime on when we get the chance.
gotta get to that. And then, of course, in at least the United States, Kurosawa's biggest successes were Throne of Blood, which is just Macbeth, redone in Japan. And coming back to the animation style, it's not lost on the people who do anime because stuff like,
All that related to this movie.
well, if you notice the style of the building, the city she wanders into, it's a European city. She wanders from a more or less Japanese rural area into, who's Patilla?
That's kind of
Into
true.
a-
Whoa, what was that?
The style of the area she's in, it looks like a European city. It looks like it could be Paris or London or something. You know, the way the buildings are all. It's not a Japanese.
Yeah, like a water city, a water town.
Yeah.
Like like I don't know, Italy or something like that.
Yeah, like I said, the impression I got
Right
actually
here.
was Paris,
Definitely
more
Europe.
than
Yeah, I definitely got European vibes.
mainland Europe somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's what comes around the animation style is they're like acknowledging those influences, but also the effects it has, I guess,
On the animation.
on the culture.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cross fertilization between the two, which is why I didn't understand when people got so their knickers in a twist when William Dafoe was what's his face in Death Note. Or they
Who?
complained about whitewashing or something.
Was who and what?
The crappy remake of Death Note.
Oh, that was my favorite part of that movie. That terrible movie, that Netflix travesty. Yeah, he was the best part of that.
Yeah, but getting back to Seven Samurai, which is
Oh, you don't have to go back to that.
yeah, I do, because Seven Samurai gets made into Magnificent Seven, and then Magnificent Seven gets redone as Battle Beyond the Stars, which, among other things, is one of James Cameron's earliest things. Where he wasn't even a full director; he was doing special effects.
What is this, a movie?
Yeah, Battle Beyond the Stars. It was like one of those things that came out post Star Wars. We're like, let's try to do Seven Samurai, Magnificent Seven, but in space.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
I gotta check this movie out.
And then you get, of course, after that comes
Avatar.
Yeah, Avatar. Pocahontas
no.
in space.
We're going back. We loop back around to Japan with
Angel's Egg.
Yeah.
Samurai 7. Which
He
is
did Samurai 7?
It's an anime.
Yeah, Samurai 7, which is Seven Samurai in space. Or with
The
Rekka.
anime, yeah. But I already knew that was based on that. That was
Yeah,
I thought that
I'm
was
saying,
pretty
you
very
can-
very clear in that show.
Yeah. But loops back
And
around.
you can throw it back
What I'm
into
getting to.
yeah, you can throw it into space and it still works.
Yeah, and I'm saying that going back to the animation style, it reflects. The animation style reflects that. It draws from diverse influences, even Western influences, and I think that's partly why that '80s anime style is a little more accessible or interesting, just because it does draw at least some Western cues, so it's
It's more
maybe a little more
aggressive.
accessible. It's a little more, possibly a little more accessible. You know what I mean? And that's where I was going with that.
Well, that was really long.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Mark? Anything to add on it you liked about the animation?
Like I said, I like the style and motion.
I like the lines you drew.
It's too dark. I really got across the sense of abandonment and despair. I like the wind howling.
Yeah.
The water
The-
trickling got
it-
old, but it was also a boat island with a
The-
lot of waves.
The
Had to
the
have water.
the eerie noises definitely. It was very just everything. The darkness of it, the art style of it, or the architecture of the buildings, where everybody was acting. Characters did really good acting actually.
And then at the end,
The
he's on
the
a
Ghibli hair flow. Did you all see that? Happened a couple times. Which is the Amano airflow, I guess. I don't know if it
Yeah.
was before, after, or during. I don't know. This is 85. Isn't that the same time as Nazca?
Or just before.
Nazca's 84?
Is it really?
It might be,
think.
yeah.
You know, we lost the farm.
But Nazca's my favorite Ghibli one, for sure. Alright, so, I guess closing thoughts and explanation if you want, or and a score if you feel like. Javier, Mark.
Javier should finish.
That
He
means
had
you
something
talk first.
doing there.
Now it's all gone.
Yeah, yeah, we
Yeah,
lost a
go
bunch of
ahead,
his conversation because the audio cut out on
audio
the
cut out.
OBS, so I had to
Uh,
restart everything.
my closing thought was, I don't know where this picks up from, but I really enjoyed it because it was more, like I said, I've probably said this a bunch of times now, but I'll say it again. It's much more
Don't say it's
lyrical than it is
lyrical. Oh,
Yep, more lyrical than narrative, and I enjoyed that aspect of it. I really like I said, I'm a big fan of that '80s animation style, and like I said, partly I think that's because of the creative tension between modernity and tradition, old and new, Western versus Eastern. All that makes us some rich, fertile ground for your imagination to run wild. And I
good.
think that's what he did with this,
Yeah,
and I enjoyed it. And I would really love to find a better quality copy of it to have, because I'm
yeah.
ride or die physical media.
I definitely
And
want a better quality version of this to watch again
I
sometime.
ranked it a purple out of 5.
Purple out of 5. That's
Yeah,
close to mine.
Purple is a royal color.
Yeah, that's high. That's high rank. It's a high color. Arcus or Arc 2, D2. What do you think?
My
R2D2.
thoughts were
That's your new
less
name.
about the art, which I know is what the movie's about, and I appreciate it for what it is. But I was more into the story, about how it's like a tale of Noah's Ark never found land, but it's also like just the people that have forgot their origins and forgot like what they're about, and then they're like a ship floating in the ocean, but it's like it made me think of Earth floating in space. So I'm like, what have we forgotten in
Oh,
our own past? It's like you forget generationally, which really, I don't know if that was a point of the movie or not, but that's what really made me think about it.
oh wow, that's some good
That's
stuff.
all I was thinking about.
Yeah.
That's some good close thoughts right there. Uh, yeah. Anything else?
Usually I don't like animation or media where they're just like staring off into space and for like art's sake.
Yeah.
But like I did enjoy this. Like I was able to. I'm like, all right, they're just staring off. But like, what are they looking at? Like, what should I be looking at? So even though it's only 70 minutes, and even though they barely talk and there's a lot of just idle animation, I really enjoyed it and I wasn't bored.
Yeah.
So yeah, 4 out of 5.
Nice. Yeah, yeah. I thought it was great. After trying to absorb the story on my own, after I just literally just watched it a little while ago, so it's really very fresh on me. I'm still kind of. I'm sure I'll feel more about it tomorrow than I will today, or different thoughts or more thoughts on it. But yeah, I thought it was. It was great. It definitely. I wish I didn't. I wish I saw it not knowing the Dark Souls influences, because that's all I can like think about. Just it's like, oh, this totally reminds me of why this is in that game or whatever and stuff like that. I was kind of looking for that, but it was all very evident in the and a lot of everything about it, just the characters, the art style, the way the story is told. It really is a world visual storytelling that I think that he picked up on and translated beautifully into video games, which is amazing. The way what he was able to do, and I think that's why it's such a phenomenon. The way it is just captures that imagination that is in all of us that good art, emphasizes. I think, but yeah, I love Yoshitaka Amano, like one of my favorite Final Fantasy. Just the art style. I always still want that game. It's gonna happen one day. His art is gonna come to motion and come to life in motion. And yeah, I definitely give it a 4 out of 5 too. I need a better quality. I wish it was a little more. Not wish it was a little more coherent. It is kind of just like all over the place, just random images and like where they are just staring off. And I'm just like, yeah, I'll start staring off too. Like what, and it does make you think about what you're looking at. I mean, that's something. But yeah, it is kind of just like Just a couple people wandering around some shitty ass world. But yeah, I love it. It's 4 out of 5. Definitely highly recommended. Angel's Egg. But yeah, that was GamePlayDismay of review of Angel's Egg, and next week we're gonna do Pat Labor 2.
Mamoru Oshii.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, say his name. Sorry, I don't have it written down here.
Mamoru Oshii.
Yeah, and I'm trying to kill these dudes. Mamoru Oshii. And then we're gonna do Pat Labor 2, I believe, I think, for next time. So look forward to that. And yeah, we'll catch you next time. Hiya.